all the way from Perth, Australia. She is a pharmacist by profession for the last 20 years. And today she's going to talk on a very interesting topic. Pharmacist calls Kangen water as her lifetime mission. I would not like to steal the thunder from her. I would like to give her a big round of applause so that we can send her energy so that she can deliver for us a wonderful session. Let's give a big round of applause to welcome Uyen Tran from Australia. She is a 6A2-2. 6A2-2, she's only one of the 10 6A2-2s in Australia. Let's hear her share. Uyen, are you ready? If you're ready, can you please unmute yourself to begin to share?
Hello. Good morning,
Hello.
my family. Can you hear me well?
Loud and clear.
Okay, good. So just to put things sort of in perspective, yeah, I'm one of 10 6A2-2 across Australia and New Zealand, and there's only one 6A2-3 in basically across Australia and New Zealand. So there's no -4, there's only one -3, and we have been as an office, we've been set up for about 10 years, over 10 years. So I'm very, very privileged to have such a great team, including uplines like Sam and Gary, who have, and definitely Cora, who have really, really catapulted me to where I am. So I'm very grateful to them. I want to share how I got involved in this mission. And again, you know, I'm so glad you're all here, my Kangen family. About 6 years ago, my husband was diagnosed with very aggressive, very malignant, very rare, very terminal cancer. And he was given about 4 months to live. He lived for about a year and then he passed. And how I got into this mission is that I prayed so much to God that I said, God, you gave me this perfect life partner. Please save him, save him. And I think God did answer me because he sent two men, two very godly men, who were my friends, and they came to pray for us, but at the same time, they each on separate occasions brought this bag here, and this kind of bag, and they gave me 4 liters of Kangen water each, and they told us to drink it. They told us that it could help with cancer. And being a pharmacist for over 20 years, I laughed in my head. I thought, like, I have this really big problem here. I have a person who has very aggressive, very, very rare cancer that has no treatment plan, none. And here these 2 men were telling me possibly that this water could help. And, you know, I mean, like, water is the simplest thing. We're born with it in front of our, you know, under our nose. It's just something you never expect to be the solution to this very horrible nightmare that you were going through. So in front of them, I gave my husband 1 glass and I threw the rest away. Both times, just threw the rest away. I didn't believe, because they don't teach you this in pharmacy school. They don't teach you about electrolyzed reduced water in pharmacy school or medical school. So what happened was, at the time, I actually was drinking reverse osmosis. I mean, it was the purest water that there could be. So how could I believe that this water, they didn't explain to me it wasn't filtered water. They just said it's water. And so what happened was, Sorry, that was Sam texting to me, so I had to look. So I basically was drinking reverse osmosis, and they didn't tell me that this water was special. They just said, try it. And so the thing is, I wish those two men, in retrospect, I wish those two men fought harder for us. I wish they fought harder. Not that it's their fault, but I just wish those two men fought harder for us. I wish they just shook me by the shoulder and said, Uyen, this water, just pay attention. You know, it could really make a big difference. After all, your whole body is made of more than 70% water. Water is the most important nutrient for your whole body. Like, stop ignoring it. And here I was looking for a better doctor, better treatment. I didn't even think about water. And now, like, I'm spewing blood, knowing that so many people drinking this water, all that they did was drink this water, no change, and they experience recovery. And disclaimer, I'm not saying the water is a cure for anything, because, you know, we have to be politically correct. But I'm saying that the water provides peak state for the immune system so that it can fight against lots of diseases like cancer. So I wish those two men fought harder for us. I wish that day those two men somehow knew how to do a demo, that they could actually show a distinction between what regular water is like and what Kangen water is like, that they could somehow show me, hey, this water is worsening his condition, so wake up and start giving him your reverse osmosis or any other water that you can get your hands on. Just wake up. And I wish they just shook me by the shoulders and say, wake up, stop thinking that you know so much. And, you know, I was that kind of pharmacist. People would come into the pharmacy and like line up for me because they would tell me that I could treat things that their doctor couldn't treat for them. And so I probably had a head swell. I probably just thought that I knew more than these men. And why would I believe them? And so, ladies and gentlemen, just be patient with your health professionals. They just haven't been taught about electrolyzed reduced water in their study. And health professionals, I call out to you to embrace something that you don't know. So the saying is, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. I didn't know about electrolyzed reduced water. I didn't know. And because I didn't know, I just assumed it was just another kind of clean water, you know, pure, uncontaminated water. So what? I had reverse osmosis. And so health professionals, please take a moment to just embrace the fact that we don't know everything. We don't know what we don't know. We don't know about technology out there that can do wonderful, spectacular, amazing things. So please just yes, you know a lot, but you don't know all that you don't know, unfortunately. And so really what happened was I let the water go. I let the water go, and my husband and I said the very typical thing, we will research about it. We will research about it. My God, that same thing that we hear all the time. If only people knew that this is their priority. And so, of course, he passed away within a year. We didn't have time to research about it. Health waits for nobody. You don't have time to research for it. Research for it today. Research about it today, not tomorrow. Yesterday is too late. Yesterday, not having researched yesterday is simply too late, let alone it being today or tomorrow. So I wish those two men had shown the demo to me and my husband on that day. I wish that they actually fought harder for us. I wish that they said to us, do you know that this water is an antioxidant? It's actually proven to be an antioxidant by study by Dr. Horst Filzer. I wish they told us that it's a proven anti-inflammatory. I wish they told us it's a detoxifying water. I wish they told us those things. I wish, but I didn't get those words from them. And they just said, oh, well, if you don't want to try it, we know, we understand. And so I wish they said, you know, Professor Shinya, the man that invented the colonoscopy, the man that had over 40 years has been treating presidents, prime ministers, you know, musicians, celebrities, and he treats the royal family of the Japanese. And he says on page 159 of his best-selling book, it's called The Enzyme Factor, page 159, he says, Kangen water, this water that I ignored, that I dismissed, he said on page 159 in his best-selling book, over 2 million copies sold, and it's been translated to more than 20 languages. He writes, Kangen water is the very best drinking water because of its incomparable, nothing compares to it, incomparable powers of hydration, getting into the cells, ladies and gentlemen. Also incomparable, incomparable in terms of antioxidation. And by the way, as you know, that's anti-aging. That's the power of slowing down aging. And so that's confirmed also by the clinical study of Dr. Horst Filzer, the Harvard medical doctor teaching Harvard medical students for over 30 years. And that's the study result that he got. And Dr. Shinya, the man that invented the colonoscopy, again on page 159, he writes that this water is incomparable in terms of hydration, in terms of antioxidation, and also in terms of detoxification. Had those men told me that day about that, my God, I would have signed on the dotted line immediately, straight away. It was any glimpse of hope, of reasonable hope that we could get that day. We would have signed up, we would have bought it. You don't know the expenses we go through. And that's why I say, don't wait until your health is irreversible. Just do it while you can. Salvage and upkeep your good health while you can. Don't wait until it's irreversible. And so, you know, I love the saying, you know, a person will spend half of their, a person will spend or will actually sacrifice their health. Half of their life, they will actually sacrifice their health to gain wealth. And then they spend the rest of their life sacrificing their health. Start again. A person will spend half of their life sacrificing their health in order to gain wealth, and then spend the remaining half sacrificing the wealth that they have created through sacrificing their health to gain back that health that they lost through ignoring, you know, the most important thing, which is health. Health is priceless. And so I definitely did ignore the water, and I ignored the water because they never teach you this kind of stuff in pharmacy school or medical school. And so the thing is, yes, we are taught about reverse osmosis, distilled water, purified water, but they don't teach you about electrolyzed reduced water. And so I'm going to take a drink. On the subject of water, I'm going to take a drink, excuse me. And so they don't teach you in pharmacy school or medical school about this very special water. And the thing is, because people are scared of the unknown, doctors and pharmacists and health professionals are not aware of electrolyzed reduced water, which is Kangen water. And generally people are scared of the unknown. They're scared of the unknown and they stay away from it. So often when people ask health professionals, have you heard of Kangen water? Do you think it's safe for me to drink it? Often the answer is, better not. Don't know enough, let's stay away. Hey, if you actually go and do the research properly and actually watch the demo, which is indisputable. The demo shows the distinction between regular water and electrolyzed reduced water. And so if they actually did the research, and proper unbiased research, they will see that it's not about, you know, I don't know enough, so therefore let's stay away from it. Do your patients a favor by actually truly making a big effort to research about this water. So that's why I stayed away from the water, because I didn't know enough. And we again set that line, we'll research into it, we will look into it. How sad. And it's sad because I see it happening all the time. Even, you know, nearly 3 years into Kangen water. So I've been drinking for about 3 years, over 3 years, and I have been doing the actual mission of introducing this water to the world for about over 2.5 years. And the thing is, you know, people often say, if it is that good, how come I haven't heard about it? And so I had the same mentality. If it's that good, how come I haven't heard about it? Through the news, through, you know, through pharmacy school, how come? Well, it's because, hey, do you know it has been featured on Today Tonight in Perth, which is the news program? Do you know it's been featured on African news, Chinese news, Japanese news? You know, it's USA News all over the different channels of news in America. You just didn't turn it on the day that it was featured. And so it is that good, but, you know, people like to stay away from things they don't know about. It's one less thing to worry about. And so I dismissed the water, but it was 3 years after my husband passed away that I got reintroduced to the water again. Now, during those 3 years, I was thinking in my head, now, health is so priceless. I mean, of course I knew that, but it has hit home a lot more since my husband passed, because, you know, you can be so young and it can just strike you at any time. There's no, most of the time, or a lot of the time, there's no warning signs. And so I decided, okay, I want my mum and dad's longevity to increase. I want my mum and dad to live longer. This is what I need in my life. And so I thought to myself, what can I give them that will actually lengthen their lifespan? What can I give them? And it was something where I was thinking, well, vitamins and all these drugs. Okay, let's start with drugs. Firstly, they're not on any prescription drugs, so there's no point. But even if they were, and my dad is like close to 80, my mom is 75. Even if they were, the drugs have too many side effects. And often what happens is when a drug is introduced, then side effects from that drug is then actually the side effects become a problem. And when the side effects become a problem, then the doctor adds, you know, another drug to combat that particular side effect. And then more side effects would come about, and the doctor sometimes does not recognize it's from the drug. He thinks that they're getting old, so they are developing more problems. And so he adds more drugs on top to cover that side effect. And then, of course, more and more and more and more would actually take place. And what happens is that eventually a person, by the time they reach 75, they would have on average 10 to 15 medications on average. And so I didn't want to go down the drug route. And as far as vitamins are concerned, they only mainly help certain parts of the body. So for example, vitamin E would help the cardiovascular system. vitamin C, connective tissues, your skin. So really, they're very organ specific in general, and they serve certain sort of parts of the body, but not all. They're not a be all, end all, cure all kind of thing. Then I thought to myself, maybe this water, maybe God was calling to me again. And I thought to myself, maybe this water, this water that just keeps sort of, stand at the back of my head now and again. In the back of my mind, it's always somewhere there. And so so I kept looking for this water. And for some reason, I lost contact with the person selling it. And so I just kept looking for this water. And so I guess, folks, one of the things that we might want to learn from that is that sometimes you might need to look people up after 3 years or 5 years, seriously, and seriously fight for them. That's what I do now. I really, truly fight for people because no one fought for me or my husband. And so I wish that people fought for us and fought for us harder. So I encourage you to fight for your people harder and actually just do it because it's going to make an impact on their lives. It's going to change their life. It's going to benefit their life. And I love the slogan of the company, change your water, change your life. It really is. And it's not an overstatement either. Change your water, change your life. When you experience this water and the whole entirety of the journey from just everything, you totally see that it changes your life. It's not an overstatement, and I will visit that shortly. And so when the 3 years after my husband passed, I was looking for the water, and one fine day, this pharmacist friend comes to my pharmacy, excuse me. She comes to my pharmacy and she says, hey, I have this amazing water. You gotta see it. And I said, is it the one from Japan? Is that the one? I've been looking for it. And she said, yes, it's the one from Japan. And I said, because I only want to buy the one that is made 100% from Japan. I don't want to know about Korean stuff. I don't want to know about Chinese stuff. I want the one from Japan, because the Japanese are so well known for their amazing technology, and they are, they are really second to none. If something is, for example, called a medical device in Japan, Japan is the hardest, or one of the hardest countries to actually have a medical device certification. And so I think the company doesn't allow us to say it in social media, but we are a medical device in Japan. So it's very nice to sort of be reassured with that point. So when the pharmacist friend said, this water is amazing, and I said, I want it, guess what? It took 5 appointments with me before she could secure an appointment to show me the demo. And it wasn't done very, boom, boom, wow. But for me, I saw there is a distinction because, of course, she was quite new to the business as well. So basically, it was just, it was a very long session. I could only gather that it's good for your health. And so then but again, I want to say it took her 5 appointments to get me to see a demonstration to show the distinction between regular water and Kangen water. And so, friends, I want to reiterate to you, people don't know that this is their priority. They have no idea. You don't know what you don't know. So if this is an overstatement, forgive them. You just fight for them, and when you fight for them and they finally experience this amazing, life-changing experience, they're gonna thank you for it. They really, really will thank you for it, and that is the reward at the end of the day. And so, hey, if you know people are going in the wrong direction, why wouldn't you make time to steer them to the right direction. Why wouldn't you? Why would you not want to do that? Unless you don't have that, you know, sort of very basic human instinct. Everyone who sees someone going obviously in the wrong direction, drinking water that is acidic for them, drinking water that's oxidizing, aging and degenerating their whole body, and poorly absorbing, that's regular water. That's what regular water is doing to everybody. And people don't know it. People don't know it. And it's not their fault because we don't know what we don't know. So it's okay. If they're on the wrong track, just steer them in the right direction, but do it with kindness and with patience. That's how I sort of have found to be very effective. Just do it with kindness and patience. And so why is it that I call this particular session that Kangen water is my lifetime mission? Why? Well, it's not an overstatement, let me tell you. It's not an overstatement. And again, the company slogan is change your water, change your life. That's not an overstatement either. Let me elaborate on that. So again, once you experience the whole experience of everything, and I'm about to unwrap that, once you experience all of the whole experience, you will see why it truly is. When you change your water, you truly change your life. And so the thing is, we need to understand one thing. Has everyone checked out the science of this water? My gosh, has everyone checked out the science behind this water? Being from a pharmacy background, I'm sure you expected something today that relates to the science in relation to this water. So if you don't mind, I'm going to elaborate on the science a little bit, because that's what I think everyone would be expecting from today's session anyway. So by the way, if tomorrow, for any reason, it costs $50,000 to replace this machine, my God, in a heartbeat, I would make sure I get this machine. Say tomorrow, for some reason, I don't have the machine anymore, and say it costs $50,000 to replace it because it's so hard to put all the components and all the science together, or maybe another company had to reverse engineer it. Say if it costed $50,000, in a heartbeat, I would totally spend that money on this machine, let alone a few $1,000s. My gosh. Oh, by the way, you know those two men? I want to say, if those two men had fought harder for me, if those two men told me about what Dr. or Professor Shinya actually, you know, sort of summarizes, how he summarizes about this water, if those two men had told me the American Anti-Cancer Institute, out of the top 10 ways, you can look up their website, out of the top 10 methods to that they recommend for their cancer patients is Kangen water. And so do you know how much I spewed, like literally just like spewed blood, knowing all of that, and then thinking, my God, God sent me. Someone is sharing the screen. Okay. So my train of thought was, well, what I'm saying is that if those two men had told me about the American Anti-Cancer Institute, in fact, the director released a book called Killing Cancer, Not People. And on that book, it recommends the Enagic, our machine, the Enagic machine that produces Kangen water for their patients. And they've seen lots and lots and lots of amazing results. However, disclaimer again, because I need to be politically correct, we're not saying that this water is a cure in any way. The water puts the body in peak condition, peak health, in order that your body then heals itself, because the body, God created the body to be such a perfect doctor for itself. And so had they said those things, had they said to me, hey, Uyen, do you know, if I could introduce one thing to you, Uyen, that can take away your kids' cold and flu and yours, if I could take away the hay fever that you suffer from and your boy suffering from hay fever, if we can take away the sleepwalking that your daughter suffers from, if we can take away the skin issues on your boy, if we could take away the acid reflux on you and your boy, if we could take away the arthritis in your hand, if we could give you extra youthfulness, all in the one technology, would you be open to find out? I would say, let me sign on the dotted line. Like instantly, I would have easily subscribed if I really knew that. And again, I'm not, disclaimer, I'm not saying that the water is curing these things. However, my personal experience is that the water actually took away my colds and flu completely, and my children's. Now, for a family like us, we would on average suffer from the cold probably on average every 3 weeks, and we would use everything in the book because I knew so much. So I would use, like, you know, inhalers on them, you know, decongestant, you know, medicines on them to unblock their nose, something to dry up their nose, something to stop coughing, antibiotics, something to open up their airways orally, you know, the works. And it would cost us a bomb each time we, you know, we would get sick, and I would give them immunity boosters, and it would be around the clock. And my gosh, I would like have to sort of like keep track of when I last gave them the medication. Sometimes have to wake up at night to give them the medication, and they're coughing all over the bed, and they're vomiting because they're coughing so much. And then if that could just by itself be lifted out of my life, my God, just that alone, just colds and flu, I would instantly bought that machine. And so if they had said, hey, your hay fever, you know, you wake up and, you know, you're itchy and you sneeze 100 times when you wake up and your boy's the same, if that can go away, if the runny nose could go away from the, you know, with the hay fever, if the itchy eyes could go away, if the blocked nose could go away, if, you know, all of the symptoms with hay fever would go away, if your daughter's terrible sleepwalking that sometimes ends up with her leaving, you know, the hotel if we're not careful, or if your son's skin condition, you know, if that could go away, if your arthritis that you are so depressed about, because arthritis you cannot treat, you cannot cure arthritis, but if they say, if your arthritis, the degeneration could be slowed down, if they told me that, I would have instantly said, where do I sign? Where on the dotted line do I sign? And if they said, hey, all the more better, if they could tell me my youthfulness would be enhanced by this water, I would have signed on the dotted line. So if those men told me all these things that, well, we thought we were a healthy family until I looked around again and thought, gee, cold and flu every 3 weeks isn't healthy. Hay fever all the time, where you've got tissues everywhere, you've got sneezing and itchy eyes that would end up with me like scratching so much that I would bleed because I didn't like taking tablets. And, you know, all of the sleepwalking, the skin issues of my son, where it would be itchy and it would be peeling and it would be cracked and bleeding, you know, at the cracks. If all of that could be lifted, if they said cold and flu, the cold and flu would go away, the hay fever would go away, the sleepwalking would go away, the skin inflammation, the skin is like psoriasis, but it was just a very rare variety of skin condition called pityriasis rubra pilaris. And if they said the acid reflux that I have and my son also suffered from it, if that would go away, if my arthritis could be slowed down, if my youthfulness could be enhanced, all in the one technology, and that technology could somehow help to make disappear or improve these things that science and medicine has surrendered and given up on. If they could tell me that day, my God, I would have instantly signed. If I saw the demo, I would have instantly signed. If I had just been shown these books written by all these amazing, smart people in the medical world about Kangen water, I would have instantly signed. They just didn't show me these things. So what I'm saying is, have you checked out the science of this water? Now, to simply put it, free radicals are things that cause damage to the body, and they are everywhere around us, from the pollution around us, from the radiation from our phone, our TV, our computer, the radiation, the pollution around us, the stress that we have every day. All of those things cause free radicals, and the free radicals are things that age us, that degenerate and make us sick. Now, if people remember that with Kangen water, because of the electrolysis, basically the water can neutralize the free radical. The water can neutralize the free radicals, which are like monsters in the body. If they can neutralize the free radicals to result in oxygen and water, wow, how powerful. If there is a technology out there like this one, well, actually, let's start again. Kangen water has got the ability to neutralize free radicals to end up with the end result being oxygen and water. Wow, isn't that amazing? So if you can have something so nasty and so damaging, which is a free radical, and the end result is oxygen and water, because this water is able to do that by scientific ways. I mean, that's another story altogether. If the end result is oxygen and water, wow, you are now converting something so harmful into something that is so safe and so non-toxic, but so beneficial for the body. What do I mean by that? Well, you need oxygen to burn food for energy. You need water to hydrate the cells, and you need water to detox the cells. So here's this very, very simple method that all you're going to do is drink the water, and you end up with the ability to neutralize damaging agents that make you age and degenerate. If more technology in this world could be invented so that nasty, toxic, or destructive things to the human race, if more technology could be invented so that the destructive things to the human race could be annulled, neutralized, cancelled, if there's more technology like that, my God, this world would be a better place. And that is why this is my mission in life. I need to tell the world about this, but I know lots of people are not listening. But hey, as I said, if we do it with love and kindness, we can really get this message out there. This is why it's my mission, because people don't know what they don't know, and it's not their fault. But it's your fault that you know what they don't know and you don't do anything about it. It's your fault that you don't tell them. They don't know what they don't know, but you know what they don't know. So it's your fault that you don't go out there and you tell them and you fight for them. And so the second thing about the science is that Dr. Horst Filzer, in his study, in his clinical study, he has actually found that the water, not only is it an antioxidant, it is actually in the body. When you consume the water actually stimulates a powerful antioxidant made by your own body. No wonder I don't get colds and flu anymore. I used to get it all my life, and my kids used to get it every 3 weeks on average. We don't get sick anymore. And again, disclaimer, we're not saying the water cures. And so the thing is, by drinking Kangen water, the water stimulates our own body's amazing and powerful antioxidant, the thing that slows down aging and disease. And that antioxidant is called superoxide dismutase. So wonderful, right? And that's actually proven by Dr. Horst Filzer, the Harvard medical doctor that actually has been teaching Harvard medical students for over 30 years. And so the other wonderful science about the water is that So yeah, like, let me get over the antioxidants. Like, wow, you know, no wonder we all age in reverse or slow down in aging when we drink Kangen water. And so the other thing about the machine is, as we all know, it generates 2.5 pH water. And the 2.5 pH water, scientists are telling me that it actually works in 3 different mechanisms. And so again, I did say that you guys probably did expect a lot of science from me today, so I better give that to you. So for those who are going, why is she talking so much science? I think everyone expected, when a pharmacist enters, they are expected to talk about the technical stuff. So the 2.5 water produced by our machine is actually, it has 3 modes of action. And it's actually proven by Dr. Filzer, again, that Harvard medical doctor, is proven by him in his own, you know, like he set the water to a lab. This water can kill any known bacteria and viruses. This is according to him. So that's according to his results. And so the water actually works in 3 ways. Number 1, it works in the way of being an acid. So the acid is called hypochlorous acid, and so it works as an acid. So that's very, very destructive to germs and microorganisms. The second mode of action that the water has is through its oxidation power. So because it's acidic, because of, you know, how destructive it is, it's very oxidizing. So this is the oxidation, and we know how absolutely destructive oxidation is. And another word for oxidation is the rusting process, the aging process, the degeneration process. And the third mode of action of this 2.5 pH water is through its chlorine. So there's some chlorine produced in it, and that's through the addition of sodium chloride into the machine. And sodium chloride, as we all know, is just table salt. So there are people out there who say we add things to our water. Oh my God, please stop. Please stop. Stop doing that. We do not add things to our drinking water. We do not add anything to our drinking water, but we actually only add sodium chloride, which is table salt. Everybody eats it in all their food products every day. It's safe. Sodium chloride. It's the chemical name for salt. So we add that in order to create the acid water that we don't drink. So really, please stop, you know, all the haters out there, please stop saying that we put, you know, chemicals into our water. No, we don't. Our water, the drinking one, there is nothing added, 0, nothing added to the water, just water and power, electrical power. And so again, as I said, the acid 2.5 water has 3 modes of action according to a scientist that I have sort of been watching, and you know, he proved it. And he said, you know, not only is it from the hypochlorous acid, it's also from the oxidation, and it's also from the chlorine. And so the other thing about this water, why it's my lifetime mission, is not only because of the wow science associated with it, like wow. And don't forget the beauty water. When we use beauty water, we get more useful. Now, people say to me all the time, I look a lot younger than I did, you know, 10 years ago or 5 years ago. So the water really truly works. As we all know, the machine makes something called beauty water, and we use it on our skin, and it makes us more youthful. And it's a toner, and we get that free in our home every single day in unlimited amounts. And of course, our anti-aging water is in unlimited amounts as well from the machine that we own in our home. Like, how lucky are we? And guess what? The machine lasts a whole lifetime, literally a whole lifetime, because according to this, the engineers, the top engineers and the scientists, there's no moving parts in the machine. And so because there's no moving parts in the machine, it is not going to break down on us. So literally, you're investing a few $1,000s on your health for as a once-off investment for a lifetime. Wow. And so yeah, not only is the antioxidant water amazing, the acid 2.5 water is amazing, because like if my daughter has an eye infection or some kind of infection on her skin, I go straight to it. I don't go to my pharmacy to grab antibiotics, because antibiotics take about 3 days to work. Within 3 days, this one works literally that day. Seriously, try it. It works so well on styes, on any kind of infection. And by the way, it also is proven to stop the bleeding. And so therefore, the science of the water is like spectacular. It's phenomenal. And the beauty water, of course, is a huge bonus. But other than the fact that this water is so phenomenal, it also, along with the water, there is financial freedom. If you share this with other people you fight for, you can actually now step into the business side of it. And then, of course, with the business side, you now have a lot of time freedom. And, you know, folks, time freedom is so precious now in today's world, because we're all so busy. Everything is just over hectic, and it's the rat race, and our brain is just over busy. Now, freedom, as they say, is not free. Freedom is not free. You have to fight for it. And through this platform, you can gain your own time freedom. And you can ask, you know, more people who brought you to this call if you don't know what I mean by that. So through this platform, you can gain your own time freedom. And that's priceless to me, because, you know, if I want to take off to Malaysia tomorrow to meet Sam and Gary and Michael, I can just. And so I love the time freedom that it gives me, and I can be with my children a lot. And so the thing is, also, I want to also add, I don't know, I've got about half an hour, I think. So the fourth thing that is very much why I call this my lifetime mission is, in general, I want to have everyone enjoy what I get, because it really has changed my life. It's so life altering. I wish the whole world could experience the same as what I have right now. The health, the time freedom, and the you know, the financial freedom. And so the thing is, if you have something so good, you want to share it with your people. You want to share it with everyone. I mean, there is such abundance out there that, you know, there's no need to hide something that is good from people. So you've got not only the fact that it is something that is gonna be so empowering your life, but it's also going to touch you in terms of health, finance, and time. And something that is so good, please don't keep it a secret. Please don't hide it, share it. That's my motto. Make a difference to the world. Like, my absolute motto is to make a difference to whosoever that crosses my path in this life. And this, therefore, is the perfect medium, the perfect platform. Enagic is the perfect platform for me to actually live that motto, to really be able to roll it out and have it happen for my life. And so the fifth thing that I want to sort of raise as to why this is my lifetime mission is that I want to build stadiums. This is my dream. I want to build stadiums where I can put sick people in there. I want to put people who are very impoverished, people who are poor, people who are unfortunate, misfortunate. I want to put them all in there, send doctors, nurses, pharmacists, and priests and pastors in there, and just help them, whether it be physically as well as spiritually, but also with the presence of Kangen water to keep them well. Oh, but the thing I want to point out is that, sorry, I'm just looking at the time. I have so much to, I'm such a talkative person. So I want to say that, you know, one of the things that people forget is that with financial freedom, maybe I might want to elaborate on this. So with this business, when you get to say 6A2, you at the point of 6A2, you could, if your team is small, you could have just a bonus amount that comes to your bank every month. On average, it would be between $1,000 to $2,000 on average, on top of everything that you have in terms of your earnings. It's the extra $1,000 to $2,000, and I'm stating in Australian dollars. And so the thing is, people forget this, right? What happens is that lots and lots of us have missed the boat. What do I mean by missing the boat? Lots of us have actually worked our whole lifetime. And the thing is, we haven't even saved up 100,000 or 200,000, or some of us, many of us haven't even saved up 50,000. And the thing is, people might say, oh, I own my home, but hey, you live in that home, so you can't really call that your saving as such. And so I went to a class, like a course by Robert Kiyosaki, and he made me put in $1 million. Made me put in $1 million on the calculator, and we divided that by 20 years. So that's assuming that we actually retire between the age of 60 to 80. And so if we retire for 20 years and we divide the $1 million that we may have saved up, then it works out that we have 25,000 to spend for the wife and 25,000 to spend for the husband. Now, we all know that when we retire, it means we've worked so hard our whole life. We've worked so hard, and all we want is some kind of harvest or reward for that hard work. Now, everyone imagines their life when they are in retirement to have a house on the beach, to have, to shop until you drop, to go on holidays, so many holidays in a year, to anywhere that we desire, to eat out in fine dining restaurants. We all imagine that. So at $25,000 a year, and it will be the same in Malaysia or Singapore, same kind of terms, at $25,000 a year, there's no way you can afford that lifestyle, no way. And so people have not, like, I hadn't even thought of it until I went to that course. Like, you always kind of think, if I save, then I'm going to somehow in the end have enough money to retire comfortably. No, that's so far from the truth. If you go and do your calculation, my accountant friends tell me to be really, really comfortable, you need $2 million. $2 million that you have actually got in savings. And so the thing is, that's just really, really sad news, but it's not too late. When you have the magic vehicle, it's not too late. So for those that have missed the boat in the way that they've had lots of bad luck in their life, or they just haven't accrued that, it's not too late. If you go into a business like this, what happens is every month, if you have bonus money between 1,000 to 2,000, that's basing on a small team. That's just bonus money, by the way. You are now actually having the same amount of money as if you were to own a portfolio of $3 million, $2 to $3 million in terms of rental property. So like, I will probably just touch base on that really quickly. But if you look at, for example, if you were to have, in that particular course, they said to me, hey, if you actually have a house, and that house is 300,000, if you actually put that up for rent, you will actually earn about $200 left over after everything is deducted each month. So really, if you're actually having $200 each month, well, that means that if you're getting $200 from an investment that's 300,000, what if you have $2,000 coming from the company as a bonus each month? That would mean having about 10 of those properties, 10 properties. That is So really, that house was 300,000. And now if you have 10 of those, that means it would cost you $3 million to actually be able to purchase those 10. So to get a $2,000 clear income, you would have to, and this is per month, you would have to own literally a 3 million investment portfolio, which is so hard. So that's what I'm saying. This eNAGIC is another way for you to actually step into, whereby, yes, you missed the boat, something happened in your life and you didn't accrue all that, but here's your second chance. And with anything that we do, we better work on it. You know, don't sit there and expect it to happen for you. And then people also say to me, you know what, like I need to retire with, say, $2 million. Well, so first I'm talking about the part of investment portfolio. If you haven't got that yet, you still have a second chance with eNAGIC. But the second part is that when we retire, we need to have about, say, a few thousand dollars a month to actually live on every month. And so we don't want to live on a budget when we retire. We don't want to live on a budget. We want income to come in regularly at a few $1,000s, but not living on $25,000, by the way, in a year, but good income, maybe about $5,000, $8,000 a month to live on, each person, each spouse. That's what we want when we retire. But with the way that everyone has been going about their lives in the rat race, what happens is they haven't saved enough, like say $5 million or $3 million to have regular income every month that will help them be very, very comfortable. And so when you enter eNAGIC and you have that bonus every month, you are now standing shoulder to shoulder with people who have got an investment portfolio of about $3 million, and you're standing shoulder to shoulder with people who've got about $3 million stacked away as savings, because now you have regular income coming into your bank every month. And so you don't have to live on a budget. Isn't that wonderful news? And I want that for as many people as I can touch as possible, as many people as I can touch in my life as possible. But my own dream is to actually build stadiums and make a difference to the world, and really, really like impacting the world in a bigger way than just the people around me. As a pharmacist, I was changing a lot of lives. They would tell me that I've, taken things away in terms of, diseases or unwellness that their doctors couldn't take away. But with eNAGIC, I can touch the international or the global masses. And that is something that means so much to me, because I can now finally really live my dream of making a difference to whosoever that makes a crossing in my path in this life. And I can't do it as a pharmacist in terms of my big dream of having stadiums all around the world, large, enormous stadiums to house all these unfortunate people that I can actually change the lives of. And they will absolutely also be able to enjoy Kangen water in those stadiums. And I can't do it as a pharmacist. And I can't do it as a 9-to-5, working 9-to-5 worker. I can't do it as a normal sort of 9-to-5 worker, but I can use eNAGIC as a platform. eNAGIC is a powerful and positive platform that I can use to fulfill my dreams, my very, very big dream. And on the side, many people have told me in my group that God told them to buy this water, or God told them to do this business. And I have been asking God for signs, and I myself have the actual signs as well. So many of my people in my team, and myself included. So every day I have more momentum to go forward and fight for people, because no one else will fight for them if you didn't. And so that's why I name my team the Living Water, because it truly is the living water in so many sense of the word. Living in terms of for nourishing your body, but also living because of all the different facets of benefits that the water can bring, financial and time freedom, and being able to really, stretch your legs and really impact the rest of the members out there who are less fortunate. So I'm going to pass the microphone over to Michael, just in case we run out of time.
Thank you very much, Wayne. I have been taken in by so much that you have given us. Let's give Wayne a big round of applause. I have some questions prepared for you, but having heard you speak, you're so comprehensive and such an interesting speaker. And it reminds me of somebody. You are like you are like making a confession, no, of a skeptical pharmacist. You when I hear you talk, you are a little bit like Dr. Tim McKnight, when he wrote the book Confessions of a Skeptical Physician. I will give a chance to those who want to ask questions, so that take this opportunity so that you can learn from this wonderful lady who is a professional pharmacist for the last 20 years, and she's able to come in to share Kangen water. It's not easy to get professionals like you to join this business. So we take great pride and happiness in having you share. So I would like to leave the floor to those of you who got questions. Please chat it, type your question in the chat box, but please only ask relevant questions about the talk today. Don't ask about personal questions and things like any irrelevant questions. We'll pick and choose only the good ones, okay? You are great, Wayne. In this short time, you have spoken to us about your past, your present, and even your future. It's wonderful. We really hope that you will be able to succeed in your next big dream of building stadiums around the world. And you are actually touching lives, touching a lot of people's lives. And today's audience is really big. That means to say they are very keen to hear from professionals like you, who are now not only taking our Kangen water, but is sharing it out. Thank you for sharing some of the science part of it, some of the customers' thoughts about this business. Tell me, because there are lots of people here who want to know from you too,
Michael,
how long did you take to become so successful as a 6A2, one of the only 10 6A2s in Australia?
6A2-2. About over 2.5 years. It took me over 2.5 years, just over 2.5
Wow, that's
years.
good. That's speed.
But having
That's
said
success.
that, I wish I knew way more when I first got in. Gary and Sam are many levels above me, many levels above me. So I didn't get to, have their mentorship. And so I've really struggled through the first parts of the business because I didn't know how to structure. And because I didn't learn how to structure properly, I basically wasted a lot of machines. I encourage all the people to just structure, learn, ask as many people as you can how to structure, so you don't actually waste your time in terms of ranking up.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Not only talk, communicate all the time, be in touch with your leaders, especially those leaders who are very successful in this business. They could guide you and make your success journey even more exciting and easy. Somebody here has something to ask. He said, I think he talks about, can you please share with us one or two ideas on how to talk to other pharmacists so that they can also bring in pharmacists into this business?
I think that you need to really show them the technical side if you can, because I think that if people tell me their stories, I'm not sure if I really buy the stories. So I don't really, when people tell me stories about them being better from, like the pastor that shared the water to me, shared the water with us, he said, oh, this water has gotten rid of my prostate cancer. And I said, yeah, right. No way. And so stories don't mean very much to us because they're just stories. And so you need to be as technical as you can. Maybe recently Dr. Michael Johnson has released his own sort of version of all the medical evidence to do with Kangen water. And so you can buy that from him. I think it's on a discount at the moment. I'm not his spokesperson, but I think it's on a discount at the moment. You can actually buy to maybe show to your health professionals. Yes.
Yeah, for those of us who are trying to recruit professionals like Uyen into the business, testimonies are important, but what is more important is the science behind the testimonies. That's what Uyen is saying. Is that right, Uyen? Yes, the science behind it. There's plenty of science behind this business. Even if we are not a scientist, if we are not a good reader, please at least believe the power of this wonderful product because it's already well researched and the research papers are already out in the market. And
I think Dr. Filzer said he's putting our technology through FDA in America. I mean, I don't see that as a big deal because the FDA, whatever, I mean, you know, sometimes they're very questionable, but everyone wants to hear that kind of thing, like, oh, is FDA approved? So Dr. Filzer, who actually states in one of his interviews that Kangen water has helped him drop from 15 medications down to 3 medications. This is a Harvard medical doctor who would be more skeptical than any of us. He says this is what it's done for him. This is what Kangen water has done for him. That's why he's brought the water into, you know, the labs to actually, you know, ascertain what the 2.5 really can do, the pH acid 2.5 water can do, and he's brought it to clinical trial because he wants more of what I and other health professionals need. But he has actually, you know, he has approached the FDA. They're about to give, I think in March they were about to give us a name. I don't know what is the latest update, but it's interesting where things are moving in terms of the evidence-based journey of eNagic.
yeah, thank you for bringing this up, Uyen, about Dr. Hoss. He has done a great lot of work on this product and is a very firm believer like you, initially skeptical, now is a firm believer. Not only that, he wants to give it a high professional standing by trying to get FDA to approve. But it's good to state at this point, FDA have not given us approval yet. It's in the process. Okay, so we don't please go out and say we are FDA approved. That would be a bit far-fetched. Sam, do you have any questions to ask Uyen? It's a great opportunity because this is a lady who's so well versed in this water and doing so well in the business too.
So Uyen got a question for you, Uyen. Are you still operating your pharmacy business?
As a family, yes, we have pharmacies, and I still work there to like basically like casual hours. Yes.
Right. So you see that would you consider yourself a full-time Kangen distributor now?
I would say yes. In technically, yes.
Right. Now I got a question for you. Right. If what can you share with us? What are your 3 biggest factor to your success in the Kangen business?
Well, I wish I could call myself successful. I could have done a lot of things better, but I guess knowledge is power. Get to know as much about the water as possible. Knowledge is power. So that is, I think that is my my strength, because I actually am I'm very particular, and I am very thorough, and I'm very, very much a perfectionist. I have to know everything about something that I'm doing. So that's why I had to find out, and that's why lots of people will say, oh, I've never heard about that side of Kangen water. And I think I don't do it enough, but if we could do more goal setting, that would be really good. but I know that like I've got about 7 6As of my own, and I know when each time I'm planning to go to 6A, I set my goal and it works literally that month or the next month. So goals are so important, but people just like myself, we just really underestimate goals. If I could start again, I really hope and wish, well, firstly, if I could start drinking the water 6 years ago, it would have completely been, my life may have been different. My husband may still be here. No sort of medical claims here, disclaimer. But I truly believe that God, when I prayed to him, he gave me the perfect answer, but I just didn't listen. And I feel like that fool, you know that story of that man that calls out, God, help me, and he's drowning. And guess what? He's drowning. 2 or 3 boats come by and they try to pick him up out of his drowning situation. And he's like, no, please leave. My God will save me. I feel like that jerk, that fool who prayed to God for to save my husband, and 2 godly men who prayed and prayed for us the whole time brought Kangen water to me, and I refused. I just didn't even listen to them. I dismissed them. And so I feel like that fool who goes up to God and say, God, why didn't you save me or save my husband? And God will point to me and say, daughter, I sent 2 men to give you that water and you set them away. Sometimes I feel very, very like I want to spew blood just thinking about it. But that's why I fight so hard for people now to understand the benefits of this water.
Yes,
Great.
thank you very much for wanting to help the world. Thank you for giving us such a great sharing. You did it with such great passion, and you did it with such great confidence. I'm sure you'll do well and lead a team to touch more people's lives and improve people's lives. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to ask you to give Win one more round of big applause for her wonderful sharing from their heart. She really did well today, and I'm very sure will make a very lasting impression on a lot of people and motivate them to success. Thank you once again, Win, for sharing.
I
And
want
it's
to
time now for me.
finish with one phrase. I want to finish with one phrase.
Okay.
Change your water, change your life. Ladies and gentlemen, don't underestimate that phrase. It really is going to really touch your life, that phrase, when you truly experience it. And I will say, you know, a person with health has 1,000 dreams. A person with health has 1,000 dreams for their life. But a person without health, a person that's fallen sick, all they have to dream about, the only thing they dream about is how to get well, even if it's just the cold and flu, how to get well. So please don't let that be you. Look at Steve Jobs. All the money in the world cannot help him live his dream. All the money in the world, the billions of dollars he left behind when he passed away, the billions of dollars did not help him live out his dream or enjoy the things that life has to offer with that $7 billion that he actually gained in the course of his career. So with that, thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much once again, Win.